Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. Today, I'm joined by Sebastian Steinhauser, who is the CEO and founder of Parcelly. Sebastian, thank you very much for joining me.
Hi, Nick. Thank you very much for the invitation.
This is your second time on our channel, and we spoke more than a half a year ago about micro-hubs, micro-fulfillment. And I wanted to start with, how do you think things have changed? Kind of feels like a small amount of time, but so many things have happened again.
It is a very specific, a very challenging time right now. And yet, from a professional perspective, very successful for Parcelly and the micro-hub technology and warehousing solution we are rolling out at the moment.
And this is something which is also I wanted to cover on. Can you just tell us a bit more about Parcelly and where has your journey taken you?
The Parcelly model hasn't changed. We continue activating through mobile technology access space in commercial real estate for all sorts of different logistics and e-commerce solutions. It's a model that started as a B2C proposition where individuals can utilize their local convenience store as pickup and drop-off point for parcels, fully carrier and retailer agnostic, and has grown into what Parcelly is today, a full end-to-end omni-channel logistics platform in many ways, facilitating still the traditional PUDO solutions, but now also main drivers of on-demand and instant delivery services such as hyperlocal warehousing, instant returns, parcel consolidation, etc., etc. So it's a broad host of services we facilitate with one and the very same app, rolled out in thousands of stores in the UK and now abroad as well.
And you just mentioned hyperlocal warehousing, and this area is expected to grow in the coming years a lot. Is it becoming easier for companies to work in this area?
It's interesting. I mean, the entire micro hub space has transformed over the last few years, and COVID has been an accelerator for that in many ways. Small scale warehouses facilitates and make locations more accessible for the end consumer, and micro houses overall are making in many ways instant delivery services more seamless and affordable, kind of breather for fulfillment congestion in urban areas as well. And then last but not least, optimizing the efficiency and speed of online order fulfillment while taking in many ways the load off the retailers storing and managing their inventory on their own. So it's not a surprise that huge investments have happened. And you mentioned in our pre-conversation the likes of on-demand fulfillment brands and platforms such as Zap, Getir, Gorillas, Wheezy, etc., who are fulfilling with this kind of hyper-local fulfillment platform or structure within 15 minutes and aggregate huge investments these days. But it's not just those new brands and market brands that are entering the market. It's also the incumbents, supermarket chains, for example, like the Morrisons, Waitrose, Co-op, that partner now with on-demand delivery platforms and providers to utilize their estate in different ways, making this kind of micro-fulfillment model again much more complex and different. So it's a fascinating time.
Join us on the 8th of March online to talk about micro-fulfillment and warehouse automation. Speakers include Parcelly, Pfizer, Cranfield School of Management, Mango Logistics, and more. Learn how urban locations are transforming to become storage facilities, the power of automation in the warehouse, and the cost of new projects. Don't miss this free online event. Register now.
Do you think it is a sustainable model? A lot of people, sometimes I speak with people from different areas and they say, well, it's not necessarily the most sustainable model. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, well, if we talk sustainability, we would need to differentiate what area we want to be looking at. Financially, it's obviously something that needs to prove its ground in many ways, incredibly cost intensive, asset heavy for many platforms. But then if we talk sustainability from an environmental perspective, for example, it is potentially the answer to our main challenges and major trends right now in e-commerce. The reality that there is reduced warehouse space, that there are millions of square feet of additional warehouse space needed solely for online fulfillment, not just in the UK, but everywhere. That there is e-commerce delivery expectations that have continued to grow, not just driven by the sheer boom in e-commerce and the volume increase that comes with it, but also that people want faster deliveries. Customer or consumer expectations have changed. And then last but not least, the urbanization as a trend. Over half of the world's population live in urban areas already, and these figures will increase exponentially in the coming years. There's a research from the World Economic Forum that over half of the global population lived in 2020 in cities, and this is expected to increase to 2/3 by 2050. And if you then look into this kind of dense urban space and think how you can fulfill the e-commerce need of this kind of customer and consumer environment, there seems to be only one solution to it. And it always ends with micro-hub or hyperlocal fulfillment.
And speaking about micro-hubs, there is also a lot of talk in town about turning disused space into such facilities. Do you think that this is a hard thing to do?
This underutilized space for micro-hubs is technically, in our opinion, the largest leverage we have short and midterm to activate space for logistics and e-commerce, particularly obviously, and I need to say this in a slightly biased way, but particularly obviously driving the growth our platform has seen, Parcelly has seen as a space provider, just by, instead of building new purpose-built warehouse facilities, utilizing what is already available in terms of physical underutilized space. And here we see that this blends in the most sustainable manner, both cost and environmentally, into supply chains of all kinds.
And you and Parcelly as well are being part of our Micro-fulfilment and Warehousing Conference on the 8th of March. What can we expect to hear?
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity, obviously, and we are delighted to be part of that. Nick, thank you so much again for the invitation. I think one big part of what we expect for the event is to drive further information and thought leadership and many background information around the technology and its opportunities. Then I believe a large proportion can also be our vision for this micro-fulfillment space and hyperlocal fulfillment when it comes to how e-commerce and logistics might utilize that solution in the future. And then, last but not least, we will have a few big announcements, and would love to utilize your platform to share this with the world.
Well, Sebastian, thank you very much for your time. People can register for the event in the description down below, as well as learn more about Parcelly and different articles we've done together.
Yeah, I thank you, and looking forward to meeting you and everybody else at the conference.